on, everybody? Back. Another vlog input, another video. I just want to do some quick shop. Want to talk shop. Topic of the video is the FUD is heavy, man. The FUD is unbelievably heavy, but I think it's heavy for good reason. It's not for unwarranted reasoning. There's a lot going on, and a lot of smoke and mirrors between things changing, moving over, new transitions, movements of power when it comes to cryptocurrency, when it comes to wealth. Goodness gracious, there's a lot that's going on. So I've got maybe just a few things to go over, a few things to talk about that have like revamped or changed my view on where I think this whole thing is headed. And gonna share that in this vlog again. Last video I said, I've been in crypto maybe just a few years, and at this current day and time I have managed to almost supersede my 401k over 50% than what's actually in my 401k, which is crazy. And what everybody else at the current time, they're talking, they're saying, man, is it when the bull market kicks off? Like, when the bull market kicks off. When the bull market kicks off. When the bull market kicks off. Let me say that again. Thing is, bull market's already kicked off. I believe, that's just my personal belief, I think the bull market's already started. And because if you go now I was following the S&P 500 for sentiment, kind of to get an idea of like, what is the overall market sentiment, what do people think. And since September, pretty much, well, I found it June, and then we came up and then died down, and that was at double bottom on the S&P 500. Sentiment's kind of been trailing upwards. We come out massively here. This is my dream cloud. This is where I think I think we should head. But let me just talk about this smoke and mirrors thing, because maybe that'll make a whole lot of sense. So I put this up, and I comment on Twitter. I comment a lot, but I'm starting to get twittered out. I'm starting to get freaked out about it. So I put this comment up. I said, all the FUD is smoke and mirrors so that the wealthy bankers can keep 90% of the world from adopting Bitcoin, right? And that's why the U.S. isn't worried about BRICS right now. Of course, the exchange of monetary currency, because Saudi Arabia pretty much came out and said, I don't care about your feelings. I don't care what you think. I don't care at all, And Saudi Arabia pretty much came out and said, we're going to do what we want to do. So, additionally, I put in there, I said, the wealthy elite, it says that's why the U.S. isn't worried about BRICS right now, because the bankers are FUDing the world, and they're also FUDing the retail market heavily, the central bankers and the United States as well. Additionally, wealthy elite don't want a lot of poor people becoming rich. So that's why they're FUDing it so hard. So if you think about it, you got FUD coming from both sides. You got to come from both areas. You got FUD coming from the retail with the government, pretty much the central, the SEC, Gary Gensler, Warren, Senator Warren, who's been talking about bringing measures to ban Bitcoin, all this kind of talk like, oh, we're gonna ban it, right? And then you got the world that's doing their own thing with their crappy yuan currency, saying, oh, we're gonna get off the dollar standard. Well, technically everybody can. They can if they want to. It's good coffee. So, what does that ultimately mean from a standpoint that I'm looking at, right? In my mind, it's the biggest rug ever perpetrated in the history of mankind. And what I believe will happen, because we got this whole thing with Trump, right? And him being arrested. What I believe will happen is they are going to ultimately transfer wealth, smoke and mirror, make the system look like it's going to get destroyed towards the end of the year. In the midst of doing that, the banks will come out and they will get they'll get their power. They'll start pushing people onto this federal dollar, which the Fed has already pushed it out. They've already pushed out a payment system that works 24 hours on its own. They basically release their own blockchain. That's what they did. So the Fed now has access. They have money electronically, and they're all going to offer that to banks. That's going to set up the system to where when we fall and people need assistance, they'll have to get registered into the system, just like in 2020 when you got your disbursement checks and all that crap's going to come down the road. And eventually, each bank is going to have its own central bank digital currency, with the U.S. finally, because it's stupid if you think about it. It is stupid if you do not accept the U.S. dollar as a national currency, or not a national currency if you don't back the U.S. dollar by currency. You got to forgive me for this little digi widget thing. I got a ghetto set up here. Anyway, you have to look at it from that perspective, right? The thing that would make America and keep America most relevant after we elect someone and things are better now, right, when they give us who we want and we get businesses going again, would be to back a portion of the U.S. dollar by hard assets and cryptocurrency, because it's not going anywhere. I mean, in South America, they're already taking payments in Bitcoin. Their whole economy is already exchanging in Bitcoin. So it's just going to be a change in the system. It's just going to be scary getting there. And from a top-down perspective, if you're playing a massive chess game, they don't want to see all of the Twitter crazy people rich. Like, not even that percentage. They don't want everybody rich, because if everybody's rich, they can't control. They can't keep you in control. So I'm kind of, maybe I'm putting the tin hat on here, the tin foil hat, because I've been noticing on my Twitter, I'm getting followed by like this whatever this is, that's not a real person. Like this is somebody like probably working for the Chinese deep state, probably some member who's like out there to get weak guys who are not confident in themselves and want attention, and that will message and be like, hey, I like stuff too. And the next thing you know, you're getting blackmailed or they're stealing your information. I'm starting to get followed by people like that. And I think it has to do with my comments, because my comments, believe it or not, if you look at the Chinese Communist Party, they have members all over the world. They're not just in China. Like, those members are not just in China. Like, they're all over the world, man. So if they don't like what I'm saying and it's going against their agenda, they're probably going to try to put tabs and follow me. And I know it sounds crazy, but you got to think that way, because what we're saying in a place where we don't have freedom, where it's just a deep state and it's control, the things that we say and the things that we do are very threatening to their control, their livelihood, what they can do, what they can't do. Because at the end of the day, excuse me there, allergies, it's all about control. That's what it's all about. So I just say that, man, there's no reason to get scared. There's no reason to get sad or messed up about it. This is no different than like, when the Puritans right here, when the people came to America, you best believe somebody in the old world country was like, you are going to die. Like, you are going to die. You are not going to live. What are you doing? You're insane. You're insane for trying to leave this world that we're in. You'll fall off the edge of the earth. All the crap and FUD to push people from going off. And we are like the new explorers in this entire experiment of cryptocurrency. We're getting our ships. We're going out. We're fighting the storm. We're going out. We're putting up the risk. We're going up against the machine. While everybody else is now, since Super Bowl last year, not this Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl, where cryptocurrency was supposed to change everything and metaverse and all that. We're the ones who know what real cryptocurrency and the power of digital ownership and value is. Well, the rest of the world is sitting on their hands right now, just going to work, trying to make it, worried about Trump, worried about who am I going to vote for? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? They're looking over here when they should be looking over here. And that's what's happening. That's what I've surmised, because when I get on Twitter, I just get frustrated. Like, oh, they're doing all this, doing this crap. You know, Senator Warren, the way she's talking, you know, she might as well just be explaining the U.S. dollar when she talks. You might as well be explaining seashells when you want to say that Bitcoin it has no intrinsic value. I mean, a dollar or a penny has no intrinsic value unless the person that I'm going to be giving it to finds it valuable, right? That's what money is. You're not going to lie to me. We can make oxycodone money if we wanted to, if it had value. Heck, whiskey in the 18th century for cowboys and on the range and explorers, whiskey was a means of value. Beads were a means of value. So value has nothing to do with where the government says value is. Value has everything to do with where the people say value is, where the people think their value is. And if 90% of the people think their value is in Bitcoin, well, that's where the value is going to be. And I don't care what government you are, you can't change that. China can try to ban Bitcoin all they want. All their wealthy people will just leave the country, which is what they're doing and what they've done. So this whole talk about BRICS and them leaving and all that, it doesn't make any sense. Because when we switch to the dollar and we back it by Bitcoin as the strongest country in the world, it's gonna make everybody look broke. Any country that's not on a Bitcoin-backed dollar or some type of Bitcoin currency directly, it's gonna be a broke country. So it's all smoke and mirrors. It's just a change of the times. Happens all the time. It's happened for millennia. And of course, from a spiritual concept, has to happen in my mind for things like the Antichrist and all those biblical things to come forward, which is going to happen. May not happen in my lifetime. May happen in my grandchildren lifetime if I live that long. So that's the tip that I'm on this morning. That's my message to you all as far as about FUD. It's not worth it to worry about FUD right now. The alt market is in a reverse, is in a bull. Everything I've talked about, Zen, goodness gracious, folks. I talked about Zen a long while, and I said keep a couple $100 in there. Your couple $100 right now should at least be worth at least under $1,000. If you had $1,000 in there, you probably doubled your money on Zen. And if you were really keen on Zen on another project, because I don't talk about all the projects, man. I didn't understand this project, DB token, DB Zen. Didn't understand it. This project that I've been in pays out rewards in ETH for staking the native token. And you know what? You don't have to burn to get into it. You know, I was getting into the liquidity of the market by literally just swapping my Zen for DB Zen for DXN, because it was the same thing. Stake it, make $100 a day, passive. Like, we are in the bull market, man. We're in the bull market, and I feel that when it comes to like those kind of realizations, when you're looking at the market standpoint, everybody's months late. They are months late to the game. The massive amount of people are not going to say that we're in a bull market until Bitcoin breaks $30,000. When Bitcoin breaks its 30,000 and starts going up towards 38 and 40, then everybody's going to jump on board and say, "Oh man, the bull market started." Bull market didn't start here. Bull market started way down here. You know, it didn't start there. The bull market started when I got HEX and I bought it at like 2-something cents and staked it, and then we went up to 1 cent. Bull market started way down here. This is not the bull. You know what? This is not where the bull market starts. The bull market started already. We already started it at the bottom. And I said in a couple of videos, man, the train was leaving the station. That's what I was meaning. You know what I mean? Hopefully you know what I mean. And I'm making this for myself. Like, this is history. My kids might be watching this, and I'm like, if I live to be 60 or 70, or I don't know, tomorrow's not promised. I could keel over and die tomorrow, you know. But this is just to kind of track it, man, to show what I was doing. So Zen, if you bought, you went up. DBI, like I literally said, if you're gonna buy DBI around this range, now's a good time to buy it. If it comes back and falls below this range here, and I know it's a big percentage to drip to get out, you need to sell it. It looks like, and I could be wrong, we're gonna start maybe working our way back up. But my end target again on DBI is up here at 10 cents, right? And you can see on the RSI, it's starting to cross, baby. If we can get that to cross and start maybe down a little more, and then or find some kind of resistance and work up. That's good. I like it. Money to be made there. HEX right now, yeah. HEX I kind of feel like there's a lot of people that are talking about it. It's very popular. It's like ranked number 7 in market cap compared to a whole bunch of other popular tokens. HEX is still a good deal. But I think for the biggest X's, I wouldn't focus so much on HEX. I mean, I definitely have some if you want some for the Pulsechain sacrifice. Get you some. You're gonna need it because HEX is gonna have PHEX or EHEX is gonna have the only value on the Pulsechain when it comes out. When they get the ratios out, it'd probably be the most expensive token on the chain, obviously, besides PLSX and Pulsechain. So get you some HEX. Don't ape into it though. As always, like I always say, do your research, man. Because any of these coins can go to zero, including DXN. Like DXN right now people are selling because it's about 836, and the first 24 hours is going to kick out. So guys are trying to sell to get their to get money, to get their to get profit. I saw one guy middle of the night just dump like 12 positions at the same time, just 12 transactions, same wallet, just massive dump. So they're trying to do that, sell what they have before the market flips over, and then in the 24-hour time frame here, which is going to be 9, people will go on. They'll get their ETH rewards, and then they'll move on. So DXN is definitely something to look into. DBI, like I said, it looks like we're turning a leaf. I talked about that. XEN, I have nothing else to say. I already said it, man. One of the guys that I do follow, Nakamoto, really cool guy. He says, get 100,000 and sit on it. And I'm gonna say the same thing. You could have got 100 million. If you got you 100 million tokens right now in XEN, which you could have easily gotten for a couple of $100, which is why I said just only put a couple of $100 in it. Hold on to that mug. Forget about it. I mean, don't try to sell your profits off the top to do anything else, because this is going to correct. We're way outside the RSI. It has to correct, unless it does one of these numbers and just keeps rolling all the way back to 1 cent. That's insane. But if you got yourself 100,000 of XEN, regardless what everybody else is saying, screw the thoughts. Look at what's happening. Look at the project, right? Look at what's going on. 100,000 gets you $1 million. Like that. That's a target. So just sit on that mug. Stake. They say stake it. I wouldn't stake it, because you got to think, if XEN would have come out when in a bull market when ETH was like $3,000, ETH was expensive. I don't think it was $3,000 at any one time. But I used to joke and I used to say ETH is a poor man. Well, ETH is not a poor man's coin. It's a rich man's coin. If ETH is like $4,000 and you got a stake, you best be prepared to pay like $1,000 to unstake, or And I really feel like if XEN would have come out in that kind of environment, I don't think it would have sold as hard, because it would have been so expensive to go in and mint it. It would have been too expensive. So I think this curve would have worked out a lot longer over time. But since we were in a bear market, people got that money and sold it on the exchange and arbitrage. It's what you expect. But as we start revamping around and as ETH starts getting more expensive, my opinion, XEN's only going to be more expensive. It'll come back to true value, and we'll be looking at a 1 cent XEN where I know that everybody's FUDing on it, but I'm like, come on, man. Not everybody got to buy HEX at the bottom. Not everybody got to buy Doge at the bottom. Not everybody got to buy even all these other SHIB at the bottom, right? And for us that are trying to just make it, us that are just trying to find an opportunity somewhere, anywhere. Goodness gracious, anywhere. Give me any opportunity I can get. You know what I mean? Don't FUD my opportunity. At the end of the day, we're all on the same team. We're all trying to make decentralized gains. We're all trying to make it in this real world. And I think if you have crypto, period, in any capacity, you can be set. You can be set straight. It's not, you know what I mean? And so don't FUD out your own opportunity. I don't care what project you're in. As long as the project is like Jack Levin, face of the project, can see him. Richard Hart, face of the project, can see him. DBI, the dev, and that whole project, even PP follows that guy. Like, hey, big project, I can see him. DXN, those guys, big public in the face, I can see him. Yeah, of course, and not everyone's going to work out. Things are going to fail. This is not perfect. This is the wild, wild west. But don't FUD your own opportunity. And I'm telling you right now, man, for those that don't have a lot of capital, I have taken no less than maybe a couple of grand and turned it into 10,000 plus over the course of months. It just this year alone. So you cannot tell me that these things don't have any kind of value. I'm looking at this thing from a big, broader perspective, right? You know what I mean? XEN is going to be like Pepsi. HEX is going to be like Coca-Cola. And there I said it, right? You have the building blocks. There's a whale buying XEN right now. He's buying the building blocks. I'm not a millionaire. But like I've said 100,000 times before, if I was a millionaire, I'd be buying the building blocks right now as much as I could get. And you don't even have to risk for a millionaire, $20,000. It's nothing. Because they know that $20,000 is going to be worth millions. So they're going to do it. But unfortunately, if they're not, depending on the kind of person they are, when at the top, hey. But as XEN gets more scarce, which it will, because ETH is going to be freaking insanely expensive. It's coming. When the bull market, when the bull market finally kicks off, when the prices finally start recorrelating, since we're starting from the bottom, and we get into the middle of the bull market, and those prices get more expensive, at that point, yes, not everybody's going to be able to afford to mint their XEN. They won't be able to afford it. It won't be cost effective. And nobody's thinking like that because it's cheap right now. Like when I came into crypto, I went to Binance. Binance is the poor people's coin, man. Its funds are cheap. Pulsechain is going to be the poor man's coin because the transactions are going to be cheap. But the great thing about Pulsechain is you get a copy of everything. So you could get a copy of everything and be straight double up by the time it bridges over, man. But in either case, don't FUD your own bags. Don't do it. Don't do it. 23 minutes into the video, man, and I hope this has been helpful. You know what I mean? Because there's just so much going on in the market, going on now. So many entities are at work to try to get our minds off of what's actually happening. That if you keep looking, every time they point, oh, Camilla, oh, and the president, you're looking over this way this whole time, and then over here, over in this side, like they've taken all the wealth, taking all this stuff, and then, oh, we have central bank. What are you talking about? We love crypto. Oh, our bank is carrying 2% assets. What, you sold all your crypto? Oh, we're so sad. We're sorry. But I have a central bank digital currency backed by Bitcoin. And that's going to be a whole nother different story, man. Like you go to your bank. Like consider this. I start a bank or I have a union. What if your credit union's like, we have a central bank digital currency, but to get this currency, you can, if you make a deposit in Bitcoin, we'll give you X amount of our central bank digital currency. You're going to have a whole nother thing of bank evil. Like they could take the Bitcoin and do like an exchange. And then you're like, okay, I've been using your central bank digital currency, which is accepted worldwide at Radisson and all this stuff. I can get groceries, right? I can go buy a house with this central bank digital currency that's accepted by other banks. But you know what? I'm tired of doing business with you, Mr. Bank. I would like to have my deposit of Bitcoin back. Oh, what deposit? What deposit? It's not your keys. This isn't your crypto. We're just going to hold it. What do you mean? I can't get my Bitcoin? I gave you 1,000 Bitcoin, then you gave me the central bank, and let me exchange it back. No, that's going to take 40, 60, 65 business days. Oh, did you guys hear about that bank that crashed, that failed because they took everybody's Bitcoin, ran away with the keys, and they went insolvent? Like, it's about to be a whole nother world, man. And, cryptocurrency is going to have a place in the next financial industry. Any bank right now would be stupid not to have Bitcoin or ETH in some capacity in their stores like gold. Like, think about the first guy that started the bank. You can go and look at this in the Renaissance period. Starts a bank, takes everybody's gold as deposits, give them this paper IOU that's accepted. What do? When they want to go get their gold, they make a run on the bank, and the dude spent all the gold. So it's gonna change. They're not, the bank may not take your physical gold, but they're gonna, they might. You may have to risk. We may be in a position because we're gonna have to cash out. Okay, Bitcoin is the only thing accepted. All right, well, let me cash out what I got, put in the Bitcoin, put in the ETH. Okay, this bank here. All right, look, Mr. Bank, I might have, and this is hypothetical, I might have, say, 300 Bitcoin, right? But I might be able to go to this bank and say, look, I'd like to deposit 50 Bitcoin in exchange for your central bank digital currency, which is accepted everywhere in my state, so that I can go out and buy things, right? Buy things. And the bank will be like, great. You sign your paperwork, you send them the Bitcoin, they give you your virtual account, and then put in your CBD currency. And then you got your currency. Then you'll have the United States digital dollar, like food stamps. Like, think about, man, I'm ranting again because this stuff is so relevant. I'm ranting because it's relevant. Think about food stamps. A food stamp has an expiration date on it. If you did not know, food stamps can expire. Some of them can expire. It's like real money, but some can expire. If you don't spend it in a certain time, it will expire out. They pay people on a certain monthly basis. I believe I'm right in that. I might be wrong. But what's to say with a central bank digital, with a CBDC from the government, a government dollar, they make this dollar, and then the people are on that, but their dollar has an expiration date on it. Oh, Mr. Veteran, you're 100%. Look, we're sending you a stipend. You got 30 days. You got 20 days to spend it. After 20 days, the funds in there expire. It'll be accepted by every company as funds. When they get it, we'll credit them real currency. It won't expire once it drops into their payment block. But if you hold on to it in your block in your wallet, after 20 days expires, reset. So nobody can save the government money to get rich or try to reinvest it. You can't reinvest it because it's programmed not to reinvest. You put it in your bank, it's programmed from the government. The bank's like, oh, okay, that's it. We have to leave that as a federal dollar. And you go to your bank account, and then you got like the federal coin, and then you got like the bank CBDC coin. But you can't get the bank CBDC coin unless you have a business, or unless you have your own personal Bitcoin that you bought from your business, or that you happen to have. Like, it's about to be in my head, and you probably think I'm crazy. I don't care. I just see where it's going, man. So if you're not in the chain right now, the train is leaving the station. If you don't have some kind of cryptocurrency, to where when the banks start accepting it, where you could put up, say, hey, Mr. Banker, I got 10 Bitcoin in exchange for your non-expirable CBDC coin that I can use as a business entity to buy whatever I want, do whatever I want. I want to exchange that. Give me my money. I can move on out, and I can have some spending freedom versus, dang it, I got paid. My job says that I have 30 days to spend this thing, and then it expires out. It won't expire if I put it on my 401k. It won't expire if I invest in their programs. They said it'll be there, and then when I get older, then it comes out like a central. It's solidified. You guys see where this is going? Like, do you guys see where this is going? 29 minutes, man. I've been talking. I was trying to wrap the video, but I can't wrap it up because this is what's happening. This is what's coming down the pipe. One more thing I got to show you guys. One more thing, and I swear. This is my man, Michael Saylor, that everybody FUD'd, and they make fun of this man. You need to understand, this guy and his exchange bought tons of Bitcoin during the bear market because we're in the bull market. He is up. He has paid off his debt. And this is what he has to say about crypto. All right, listen to what he has to say.
And there's every indication that nation states are embracing it. Jerome Powell says it's a digital asset. Christina Lagarde says it's a digital asset. The head of the SEC taught a class on it. I think that people understand it's not a threat to the dollar, by the way. What's going to happen is the U.S. dollar is going to be the world reserve currency, and it's going to run on billions and billions of mobile devices. And the digital asset that underlies that currency is going to be Bitcoin.
Wow. I will tell you.
Do I need to say anything else? Is there anything else that I need to say? A daggone man said it all. And people were fudding Michael Saylor. Even Hexicans were saying, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's stupid. This guy's not smart. No, man. Like, there's a bunch of smoke and mirrors right now. We're going to that type of world. We're going to that type of world where you'll be able to go to a bank and tell them you got 10 Bitcoins, 5 Bitcoins, and that bank's going to have a store of Bitcoin. What do you think they're going to do? Like they've always done. They're going to make loans and over leverage on the amount of assets they have, and then they're going to fail. It has to fail because in game, Antichrist, hey, I got the option to fix it. Hey, everybody has to have the mark, all that kind of stuff. They're working on that stuff already. But in the meantime, to getting to there, this is where we're headed. We're headed to that type of world, man. And if you don't have it, if you don't have the crypto in mass established, if you don't have a job that's paying you something that's not expirable, that doesn't expire, meaning that you have to become an entrepreneur, because the only way you'll get it is if you start a business and say, we're only going to take this bank's central bank digital currency. We're only going to take Bitcoin. We're only going to take ETH. You have to pay us in that to exchange. I know this bank, when I get their central bank digital currency, I can take this digital currency, go on my blockchain and buy some ETH with it, buy some Bitcoin with it. If you can't exchange it, if there's no liquidity pools for that bank digital currency and the blockchain, you're not going to want to deal with it. And the businesses that are going to be taking the government dollars are going to be subsidized by the government to take it. Just like the railroad robber barons. Oh, you guys are building railroads. We'll give you millions of dollars to build railroads. And they built crappy railroads all over the United States, and tons of people died. Ain't going to be no different. It's just going to be with dollars and cents. So wake up. Wake up, people. I don't make a lot of videos, but I vlog. And I vlog this stuff as it's happening. It's crazy to me what's happening. The world on Twitter is moving 10 years every month. And when they drop it on people, it's going to seem all sudden, and then they'll be scared, and we're just going to be like, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. Peace out, everybody. I'm Haiku. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed day. And I will post another video when I feel it's going to be relevant. Probably in 9 to 8 days. Peace out.